I've always felt like God was present in my life and in my art, but it wasn't until the hardest moments of my life that I really understood how much he cared about me and how aware he was of me. He turns heartache into healing and helped me create beauty from ashes. To make a beautiful painting, you have to go through these layers and layers and layers of process. I used to be scared to make something ugly. I just wanted it to be done right away. And so I would hide the ugly working stages from people. I didn't want them to see something when it was in progress because it wasn't finished. Eventually, these little pieces and layers build up to something beautiful. I kind of like the ugly parts. Art was always at the center of my personality and my interests. I was always drawing and sketching and painting. I remember when I was a little girl and I got a big art set for Christmas. And I just thought that was the most fascinating thing. Endless possibilities open up with all of these supplies before me. Art has always been a very meditative and very spiritual process for me. When I would paint things about my faith or about heaven or Christ, that was really what ignited that passion in me. And then when I became a mom, that topic of motherhood really tied in nicely with that. I used to journal as a teenager, but then later on in my life, art became a way for me to actually work through what I was going through in my mind. The act of drawing on paper, of getting all of your thoughts out of your head, was very liberating for me. The bigger problems I've faced in my life, I've found art as the solution. My color palette is generally pretty warm, but I also like these cool, darker colors. I think it's a good balance of light and dark. I paint with some contrast because it's kind of a nod back to the root of the painting, of my life and my experiences, because I've gone through hard things, but I've also gone through beautiful things. And I want to recognize them at the same time.
Mommy. Okay, draw.
Does the house have a roof?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that house. Does that look like
There you go.
Yeah.
that house?
Here, let's do it like this.
You want to help me set up the
hill.
tent in the backyard?
Yay!
Yeah, let's go.
We're gonna go camping in our backyard.
In the summers, our backyard is just like our favorite place. And we spend so much time out here setting up the tent, hanging out, relaxing, going in the swing. Just the best little place. Here, I'm gonna lay Birdie down. I am inspired a lot by motherhood, by these everyday small moments that seem pretty insignificant while they're happening.
Okay, don't get on the tent for a second.
But then looking back, they're very significant and very meaningful.
You want this one?
And trying to connect deeper with my spirit and faith. Art has always been a way for me to understand those things a little bit better. Just reading about them or thinking about them won't quite get me to a resolution.
We found you! Good night, Daddy.
Good night. I love you.
Oh.
So do I.
Mine are closed. Are yours closed?
Yeah.
When I was 22 weeks pregnant with my second daughter, and I got COVID. And it caused a blood clot in my placenta. I was feeling so overwhelmed and scared because I had no idea what the future was gonna hold. I was 38 weeks pregnant, and they took me in for an induction. I remember the night before my induction, I was so terrified. It was the most debilitating feeling. I didn't know if she was gonna live or die the next day. There were times when I just prayed with so much anger. I had tears streaming down my face, like, please just tell me what to do. Take this away from me. I'm just mad, I'm just angry, and I want to be past that. Growing up, I always knew that God loved me, but during that experience, I kind of thought, like, this is a God that doesn't love me. My baby was born, and she was safe, but I just had so much anger for that whole experience. I felt like, why did I have to go through that? It kind of stripped my beliefs down to the bare bones, and I didn't really know what was left. This problem wasn't being caused by me or by anyone else, and so that anger kind of got directed at God. I couldn't get out of those dark places. I found art as the remedy for a lot of those feelings. It was one of those nights where I was praying and I just had tears streaming down my face, and for some reason, the scripture about God separating the light from the dark came into my mind. The image that came to me was just like this very sweet man knitting a warm, happy, sunny side and a night sky. And so I started painting this giant painting of God. It was such an intense process, and I was so proud of this painting. My two little daughters are in and out of my studio a lot. I love having them around, and when I'm not in there with them, the door is always locked. I came home from running errands, and my husband, he met me at the front door, and he was like, "You need to brace yourself for this." I walked into my studio, and this painting had scribbles all over it from my daughters. There were lines running the whole length of the painting. I fell to my knees on the floor and sobbed. It was so painful. And I was surprised that I didn't feel any anger towards my daughters. They immediately saw my sorrow, and they came and gave me the biggest hugs. My husband took them so I could have some time on my own to sit in front of this painting and grieve. And I was sitting there crying because I felt I felt like it was ruined. It's like, there's no coming back from this. There's so many big scribbles all over this. And then I started looking a little closer. And I noticed that some of those stitches that I had painted had little marks on them. And the halo had a scribble around it. My daughters just wanted to do what I was doing. They just wanted to follow my lead. I thought maybe I've seen this before, but in my own life. I think I've seen scribbles on something that felt like a masterpiece, and I think they were mine. This devastating experience instantly turned sweeter. It didn't feel like I should remove these marks completely. Through a lot of trial and error, I painted over some of them so they were a little fainter. Eventually, I reached this balance and this harmony that enhanced the meaning of us just being like children, imperfect. That sometimes I'm just trying my best and it's not quite right. When I approach God, when I say, I know I scribbled all over this, but I'll help you fix it, He doesn't ever return with anger. I think God really loves me. I think God really knows me. And this painting really brought that to life for me. I realized that bad things just happen because we live in an imperfect world, and I don't think God makes them happen. God can help us turn those devastating moments into beautiful things. He turns our scribbles into a masterpiece.